Good evening, everyone. So my research topic it's a team effort under the guidance of Professor Murli Kalumal, who is an administrative head in Center for WTO Studies in India. So our research topic was trade liberalization, globalization, and employability challenges. And I have taken a case of Indian hand tool sector. Now you might ask why a hand tool sector, or why in manufacturing sector, why I'm only focusing on hand tool sector, because it's like the Indian hand tool sector is a cornerstone of our industrial heritage rooted in craftsmanship that spans over 6 centuries. Beyond its historical significance, this sector serves as a lens through which we can understand the broader transformation within India's manufacturing landscape. It demonstrates how labor intensive industries adapt or struggle to keep pace with globalization. Why is it not going next slide? It's not moving.
Está güey.
The objective of the paper is to examine the effect of trade liberalization, trade agreements on Indian hand tool manufacturing industry, the impact of free trade agreements, structural changes, and competitive pressures on profitability and employment. It further explores India's market access transformation, focusing on key matrices like global value added, labor, and profitability. These are the literature reviews with the key findings that has found over the span of year from 2010, 2012, and 2014. It focuses how liberalization increased output but reduced employment growth due to capital intensive competitiveness and labor saving technologies. It also shows declining labor share in labor intensive industries and technological advances favoring capital over labor. The methodology that I have used in this paper is we have mapped 60 products, which is 6 digit on harmonized standard codes under the World Integrated Solutions Trade Data Set WITS, and the concordance between National Industrial Classification NIC and Industrial Standard Industrial Classification ISIC codes to analyze the hand tool manufacturing sector under NIC 2008. Focused on NIC codes 2593 representing the hand tool industry for the period 2009 to 2022. I've also used descriptive and econometric analysis to explore trends in labor, capital intensity, and profitability. So the background would be the Indian economic liberalization as it began in the early 1990s marked a pivotal shift. Moving away from a regulated, license-based economy, we embraced openness, privatization, and trade expansion. This transition profoundly impacted industries like hand tools, promoting me to investigate this critical phase of this journey, the early liberalized era, multi-engagement era, and the intensified FTA era. If you could see in the graph where I'm showing the three phases, where in the accession of WTO 1995, when the Indian policymakers thought that it should be given to the public forum to analyze the policies which could be beneficial for such type of manufacturing sector, we could see that the bound tariffs that were discussed in this were like around 50, with no policy space given to developing countries like India. With the accession in the Doha round, it came back to the policy space were given to us, and it reduced from 50 to 15. Whereas when in this era, when we saw that during this multilateral engagement, there was no increase or decline, or there was no effective impact over the manufacturing sector, we realized that it should be through the FTAs, where we intensified with the signing of the 95 countries, along with deepening trade ties with key partners, reducing tariff barriers, and fostering both opportunities and competition. If we see here the global competitiveness of India right now, it stays at the modest modest of export and import ratio below 1, which suggests a deceit widening after 2016, suggesting increased domestic consumption and a dependency on foreign manufacturers. But when I compare this with China, we could see that it stands at 9.28% in the beginning of 2009 and still leading with 16.81%, whereas India is at 1.56%. Now, when I say that, the current landscape suggests that though, despite its rich legacy, the hand tool sector faces significant hurdles. And if we try to analyze what would be the key problems for it, then I think we should go towards the productivity indicator, which is the gross value added, which I have taken as one parameter along with the total inputs, where we can see that there has been decrease in GVA related to the total inputs, which has become less efficient, facing challenges in creating added value through its production process. The sector's productivity and ability to compete globally to further stagnate if we do not see how and where the GVA is declining or where it is spiking. We need to be careful for the Indian hand tool manufacturing sector, because the legacy might diminish in the coming years. That was the motivation why I took this as a research topic. I'll also say why I'm comparing GVA versus income, because most of the time people say that GVA and income are same. Why are you taking it? But if you see here, the GVA line and the income line, it is not similar, though the trend line shows mimics, but it is not similar. Why? I can show that because in 2015, the income line, the GVA is declining, whereas the income is still stagnant. If you could see it properly in the graph. Now, when we go towards the descriptive analysis, I'm showing where the shift is happening from labor to capital intensity. The sharp decline in labor share is contrasted with increase in capital share. If we see in this graph, the labor share dominates over capital but gradually declines, whereas there is a slight increase in labor share in 2021 to 2022, which shows that the labor to capital ratio in the sector has decreased from 25% to 16%. And it is a huge red flag for a labor-intensive country or developing country like India, because it's a labor-intensive market. Challenges in the employment dynamics. It might show that why I'm showing labor and capital, why am I showing the trade-off between labor and capital? Because it shows the challenges in the employment dynamics. The declining demand for the unskilled labor, the shift to the contractual labor, and the employment impact. The reliance on the contractual labor and the reduction in the permanent role has impacted job security within the sector. As a result, the industry faces employability challenges, with unskilled workers needing to transition to semi-skilled or skilled roles to remain viable. And this is the shifting employment dynamics. If I'm taking the three parameters, which is the total man-days employment, directly employed, and the contractual employed. If we see that the total man-days, so decline post 2015, recovering in 2021-22 as demand rises. Whereas the direct employment shows a peak in 2015, but drops sharply and then rebounds post 2020 towards regularized jobs. And if we see the contractual employment shows a peak in 2015, but remains low after a steep decline and reduces reliance on informal labor. Trend line indicates overall stabilization and reduced employment indicating variability over time. This is the stability versus growth post the 2014 profitability challenges. If you can see that the number of operational factories has steadily declined over the time, indicating structural adjustments within the industry, income fluctuating significantly between 2010 and 2013, but the total output remained consistent during this period, which shows how hand tool manufacturing sector is resilient, even though the appalling hardships that they are facing right now. I have also run a regression analysis with the Cobb-Douglas production function, where dependent variables are on the left side and the output are on the right side. The coefficient of 0.7344 is statistically significant with a 95 confidence interval. The coefficient is not whereas if you see, the locked labor is not statistically significant with a 95% confidence interval, which denotes the probability of observing the result if the null hypothesis were true. So, which comes to my initial literature remark that capital and labor slowly shift towards automation, which is harmful for a manufacturing sector and developing country like India. Conclusion, challenges from the trade liberalization shows that exposure to international competition post-1990s, liberalization has eroded profitability in the Indian hand tool sector, particularly due to low export competitiveness and dependence on imports, employment dynamics, a significant decline in the labor intensity post-2015 signals a shift towards capital-driven production, yet contractual employment remains a challenge for workforce stability. Opportunities for growth. Despite these challenges, rising global demand for hand tool presents opportunities for Indian manufacturers to enhance their global market presence through strategic reforms. Since India is an agrarian economy, we must focus on this hand tool industry because there are specific agricultural tools which might not be produced by large corporations. And therefore, it should be our responsibility that we should see where our hand tool industry is in the future, the status of it shouldn't die out because it is our legacy since the last 6 centuries. Thank you.